So, I just got home from work. I rode my bike. I've been thinking about a billion excuses to drink, but at the same time knowing that I'm not allowed to, which is good. And I've realized that we need to talk about what each person's reasons are as to why they are choosing not to drink. So I got home, I've got a bit of a cold after telling everyone that I don't get sick. And I've eaten lots of fruit in the hope that that idea works. But some things I wrote yesterday. So here's hoping I'm not writing more content at 3 a.m. tonight, but I'm inspired to write a little more now, right now, still being day one, and after my big bowl of ice cream, but denying that second bowl, but also denying doing lots of dishes. Going back to limiting beliefs, let's look at the real reasons why you think you drink alcohol. I know for me, when I was drinking 2 bottles of wine a night, this was an escape. I wanted to be removed from my reality so fast and into a state of peaceful delusion as soon as possible. So when wine stopped working, I'd knock back very strong vodka one after the other at about 4:30 p.m, thinking that wasn't too early. It was a coping mechanism. It gave me confidence to speak my mind and live with what I thought was my life. My life was more of a cage and a suppression of my ability to be me. What I didn't realize for some time was that the alcohol was also keeping me caged. For me, personally, it took the desire for suicide and then to pray to God to be able to begin the journey out of that deep, dark hole. You're welcome to share in the comments if you think it will inspire others. My current reason for drinking, I'm guessing, is to fill some sort of void. It's a drug, right? It makes us temporarily feel good. I guess it's convincing ourselves that there isn't really anything good about it at all. And here's a list of reasons. Well, I love waking up early, full of energy to exercise. I love waking up with a clear head full of inspiration. I love going to work and feeling like I'm in total control. Part of me relishes in seeing others with a hangover just to thank myself for not being there. I love the money I save, which is quite a lot if you do the math. I think I worked out that I'd spent over $100,000 on alcohol. Think what you could have done with that. My body loves the ability to focus on fighting sickness for me, and it's rare that I ever get sick, but I also walk around with the faith that I won't get sick. And then I wake up with a cold. But let's just say I've caught a cold, my body is fighting it, and it'll be gone tomorrow. My body loves me even more, so if I do a Celtic salt and water fast to allow it to really get busy with cleansing damaged cells that cause disease later in life. I love having my time back to enjoy with people, doing things or working through emotional blockages, which are often what causes disease. We store emotions in ourselves. And I also forgot to write down the fact that the first time I gave up alcohol, I lost 5 kilos really fast. The friend that only wants to be your friend if you get drunk with them can be replaced. I guess it's a matter of questioning yourself, where you want to be in 5 years, how you want to feel, and are you truly on that path? What needs to change, and be honest with yourself. I used to tell myself that I'll deal with that later. Then later comes, and also, why wait? For inspiration, do some people watching and see the oldies too frail to walk. Do you think most of them fulfilled their heart's desires in their life? Do you think they realized how quickly they'd be there where they are today? Let's breathe. It's so easy to think that you'll be saved or things should be easy. Drinking alcohol is easy, but it's a trap. Aren't you smarter than the trap? You're listening to me, which means on some vibration we're pulling on each other, and in my eyes you're drawn to me so I can dissect for you your greatest potential, to find that center of the web I spoke about. I'm pep talking you and I'm pep talking myself at the same time. It's 8:53 p.m. and I'm going to bed so I can go running at 5 a.m. I did wake up at 3 a.m. and I wrote in my journal, God chose me and God chose you. And then I went back to sleep. I'll check in with you again a bit later.
Day one, a success. Running before anyone's up, running before the sun's rising, except for the birds. Can you hear them?
Further to what I just said, I'm going to have dinner now, as I know that's extremely helpful to not want alcohol. I've just turned on some music and also remember that our minds are permanently making connections, and there might even be a few types of music that you want to avoid, but really if any music creates emotion that triggers you, you're better off making the time to listen to it again and let the emotions ride. Feel them and make sure you're alone, and don't be afraid to immerse yourself into the feeling, but ask yourself why. You're never alone. Remember, journal. If you're lucky enough to have my rich history, you might need to quit your job, lock your doors and purge for 6 months, seeing daylight only once a day for 6 months. You think you've cleared it all, but you haven't, but I promise it gets better. I'm also trying to save money and make excuses in all areas of my life to spend money, and I'm finding I'm bossing up in those areas too. It's like half of me is challenging the other half of me. I've got something to prove to me, otherwise, how will I get where I want to go? So what do you want? What's the first step that you know already, besides giving up alcohol? If I didn't just eat so much food and then follow it up with dessert, I reckon I'd be pretty cactus. I reckon what would be harder is if you had a routine of other people in your environment that drank as well. And I remember the last time I gave up, I was with a person who would also drink every day. And I'm trying to remember how I handled that. I guess it goes back to sheer willpower and doing it for yourself, knowing your triggers, being ready for your triggers,